Okay, so this is another really important concept, is for your health, is for your blood sugar to be regulated. And I'll go into what this means, and this is a little bit of an eye chart, but the way your body makes muscle or fat is very dependent upon the quality of the food you eat and the quantity and how it affects your blood sugar. Okay, so up here we have blood sugar ranges. We want to stay in this green zone right here. This blood sugar is between 80 and 120 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, this is normal blood sugar range. When your blood sugar falls below this, say first thing in the morning you get up, you have low blood sugar, you haven't eaten all night. This is actually hypoglycemia. When your blood sugar is high, say you've eaten processed foods or something sweet, let's just say a donut, for example, or even fruit. It metabolizes the sugar, and so your blood sugar is going to be elevated up here a little bit. Now this is the way that I used to eat, is that I'd wake up in the morning 5 years ago, I'd skip breakfast, not good. I'd have a lean cuisine for lunch, all right, high sodium, not very much protein, not the right calories, high sodium. By the afternoon, my blood sugar would be so low that before dinner time, I was ravenous. You ever do that? You go to work, you come home, I'm starving, what can I eat? Just grab something. Your blood sugar is very low. So then you start to self-medicate. And you say, okay, I ate my calories here, but I'm still hungry. And your body actually produces hormones that makes you crave higher fat, higher sugar foods. And then I would just, eat chips and chocolate chips and wine and lasagna, whatever I wanted. And what happens here is that when you do that, you have too many calories at one time, your body, your insulin levels kick in and it just stores it as fat. Here, on the other hand, is a very even way of eating. If you eat 4 or 5 times a day, small amounts throughout the day of the right quality foods, your body, you start to metabolize the food, your blood sugar starts to drop a little bit, you eat the next meal, it drops a little bit, but you stay here. And what's so important about that is not just how you look, but you feel good. Did any of you get like that 3 o'clock in the afternoon drop in energy? You're just kind of lethargic, tired? And that's because our blood sugar is down here. We're not feeling great. So if you eat frequent meals, small meals throughout the day, you will do that. What happens on the hormonal level is that when your blood sugar is high, you have a hormone called insulin. We've all heard of that because of diabetes and things. And then there's a hormone down here that many of you may not have heard of, and that's called glucagon. And our bodies want so hard to stay in this healthy zone that we have 2 counterbalances. It's just kind of like going down a stream and you've got like somebody pushing you off the edges so you don't hit the bank. Your body wants to stay in this healthy zone right here. So you have 2 hormones, again, that balance you, that keep you in here. And what happens in the case of type 2 diabetes, how many of you know someone who has that, by the way? A lot of us, me as well. What happens is they've abused their stores of insulin, so they no longer have that ability to drive their blood sugar down. Okay, so here are some tips to balance our blood sugar. One is eating complex carbohydrates. So those are the fruits, vegetables, as many vegetables. I think you cannot overdo your vegetables, especially your greens. Whole grain oats, quinoa. How many of you eat quinoa? Quinoa, have you heard of it? It's an ancient Incan grain, and it's very high protein, and it's very easy to make. It's kind of like little spirals. It's just a small grain, and you can mix it with brown rice. It's very good, but it's about 6 grams of protein per serving. It's not bad. But everything whole wheat, and I know we've all heard this, but whole wheat breads, pitas, tortillas, pastas, anything that you eat that is made from a flour, make sure it says 100% whole wheat flour, not multigrain, because if you look at the label, it might say 51% whole grains. You have to be very careful about the food labeling. Yes?
What do you do if you're trying to eat gluten-free?
Gluten-free, that's a good question. I actually have 2 children that have celiac, and so my children have to eat gluten-free. And there's actually a pasta that is made out of quinoa. So it's this. It looks like quinoa, but it's pronounced quinoa. And it's a very high protein. It kind of takes the place of some of the white flours. Or brown rice is good. You know, it's amazing. If you look at gluten-free foods, if you look at everything that's produced naturally, fruits and vegetables and lean meats and everything, almost everything is gluten-free except for the wheats. And our oats have to be, if someone's really sensitive, have to be planted in a field that's dedicated. Even though oats by nature are gluten-free, if they're planted in a field where wheat has been planted, then they're cross-contaminated. So does that kind of answer your question? You can work around gluten, but the misconception is that if you go gluten-free, that you're somehow going to be healthier, and that's not necessarily the case. But some people go gluten-free and they become healthier because the gluten can be toxic to their bodies. So I know that's definitely the rage. Lean proteins, 20% of all your calories should come from lean proteins. So we're talking about chicken and fish. And did you know that pork tenderloin was actually leaner than chicken breast? It's very, very good. You could try that. Lean ground turkey, egg whites. Egg yolks are very high cholesterol. The yolk is where most of the fat is in the egg and the cholesterol, and the white is where all the protein is. So you can eat 8 egg whites and have a really nice amount of protein without the fat and without the cholesterol. And then healthy fats, these are almonds and walnuts, olive oil and flaxseed meal. Not the flax seed because it actually has to be cracked. If you eat a whole flax seed, your body's not going to digest it. So if you eat flax, put it in your oatmeal. Yeah, not so much. It's really good. It's very high in the omega-3s.